It's the professional MasterChef Quarterfinal. These 5 talented chefs have made it through to face 2 more challenges set by chefs Monica Galetti and 2 Michelin-starred Marcus Wareing.
To be a MasterChef quarter-finalist is like probably one of the best feelings I've ever had.
Every challenge just gets harder and harder, it seems.
I need to be focused, I need to be on the ball today.
Some great chefs in the competition and I want to prove that I'm one of them.
First, they will have to survive the ultimate invention test.
It takes a lot of skill to know how to get so much flavour out of scraps.
Those that get through will then face the country's most discerning food critics.
It is everything a proper dessert should be.
How can you do what you do for a living? You're so wrong.
Only the best will become semi-finalists.
Welcome to your quarterfinals. This is your invention test. Please uncover your ingredients. What you have in front of you are scraps. What we would like you to do is to use them to make us one dish that earns your place in the next round.
You're going to need to dig deep into your repertoire to create a great dish.
You have 10 minutes to plan and design your dish and 1 hour and 15 minutes to cook.
The scraps consist of meat trimmings, including pork, chicken and beef, as well as bones and offal, fish trimmings, vegetable and fruit peelings, and stale bread, leftover cooked rice and cheese. They will also have a basic larder.
This is definitely not something I'm used to. Just because, you know, obviously we're used to working with the best ingredients, not scraps.
It's just connecting them together and eliminating what I don't need. It's going to be challenging, very challenging, but I sort of have an idea already. I'm going to be good, hopefully.
Yeah, it's good, it's interesting. I didn't know what to think first. I was looking around for a few seconds, like, what's there? I've got an idea, I think, of what I'm going to do.
It's pushing us to the limit, isn't it? Looking forward to this. Hope I can do it justice, even though it's scraps.
Planning time is over. You have 1 hour and 15 minutes to create one dish. Let's go. They've made it to the quarterfinals. No one here wants to go home. So it's a serious battle and they know it.
This is a difficult challenge for the chefs, we know that. It's going to be a really great round, I'm looking forward to it.
Sean is a 27-year-old chef from Malta. So far in the competition, he has shown a strong individual style that has split the judges.
He's got a fantastic creative mind. He dresses food in a modern way. His last plate of food was beautifully presented. I think we have the makings of a really good young cook here.
I think simplicity is the essence of every good kitchen. My style would be simple, but with a lot of technique. I like to experiment a lot. I like creating something different, you know? That's my motivation.
Sean, you look very busy at the moment.
Yeah, I am.
What are you cooking for us?
So I'm gonna make a raviolo that's gonna be filled with bone marrow and pork trimmings.
Okay.
And I'm gonna build a stock, and out of that, I'm gonna try make a light brie sauce, and I'm drying some brioche.
Okay.
For some texture on top.
Okay.
And I'm still trying to figure out the garnish.
How are you finding the challenge?
Yeah, it's tough, but I have a vision. And I think if it works out well, should be good.
And have you found any veg garnish in there?
Not yet. As soon as I get my stock done and my pasta is ready and looking good, I think I'll have enough time to sort out my garnish. Now that I'm here, there's nothing to lose. There's only to gain, and I want to go all the way.
Sean, he's making a ravioli with pork and bone marrow. I really like the sound of that. I hope he can hold the filling together, because if he doesn't, and there's a little bit of a nick in that pasta, it could all leak away. Brie sauce, interesting. I'm not sure where that's going to fit with pork. This is a big one for him, because he knows if he doesn't put up a good dish, he's going to be the one going home today.
Sean, for me, has got to deliver an amazing plate today. He's got something in him that's got him this far, and I want to see it today. Ladies, you've had 20 minutes.
Jamie R. is a 23-year-old head chef from Plymouth. In the last round, he cooked some well-balanced dishes that were full of flavour. But he was sometimes let down by a lack of technique.
I'm taking a gamble with Jamie. His last dish was a bit of a disaster, but there's just something in him I like, and there's something in him that I see.
My mindset going into this challenge is that I'm not going home today. We're at the quarterfinals now, clean slate, everyone's got to impress. I feel as if it's definitely a level playing field, and I'm just ready to go in and smash it.
So, Jamie, what are you making for us?
Boneless convy chicken wings, which I've lightly spiced, then pan-fried them so they're crispy. Then I'm doing egg fried rice with a lightly curried consommé.
Where's the inspiration for this dish?
I looked at what I had and thought, yeah, fried rice. Fried rice, chicken, curry. I was maybe thinking I'm going to see if I can get the banana in there somewhere.
Is this a tough one for you, Jamie?
Yeah, definitely. I'm used to working with the best of everything, and then obviously the tables have been flipped on me. It's like I've never had to do anything like this.
Young Jamie, he's finding this hard, I think. He's doing egg fried rice, which is unusual thing to be coming to the table with, an egg fried rice. He's not the best trained chef in the kitchen by any stretch of the imagination, but he could still pull off a good dish.
One thing I know about this young chef is he can deliver on flavour. Let's hope the techniques and the flavour are going to come together today.
Chefs, you're halfway.
Sven is a 25-year-old sous chef at a 5-star hotel in London.
He's a talented young chef. I like the way he worked in the first round. You know, he's the kind of chef I'd love to have in my team.
Sven was disappointed with his last round a little bit. He cooked a great tart, but there was errors in there, and I think he's kicking himself. I actually think Sven will come back stronger. He's a good cook. I like him. He excites me. I think he's got a great future in this competition.
I think my biggest strength is probably that I care. I care about the person eating it. I care about the ingredients. I care about all the little things. And I think as long as you have that care and the attention, and you give that to the food, that makes you a good cook.
Sven,
Hi.
Look at your table. Spotless again.
It has to be like this for me to concentrate on what I'm doing.
And what are you doing?
Automatically, I thought some sort of broth, like a pot-au-feu kind of thing. So I've got the beef bones, pig's trotter and some chicken bones that I roasted. As a garnish, I'm going to do the livers and the heart. I made a little fruit vinegar from the squash fruits that were on that tray as well. I've got a little chicken wing kind of tulip and something else I can't remember. Ah, that's it, a bone marrow beignet. Got the bone marrow, little parmesan crumb on the outside.
Okay. And your last challenge for me, you look very disappointed. That was a real big blow for you, wasn't it?
Big time, yeah, it was a shocker, obviously. Cooking something that's raw and giving it to you, my heart was just, it just sunk. Like, there's nothing worse in my eyes than doing something like that.
Oh, Sven, you must be doing something right because you're still here.
A pot-au-feu is almost it's a broth, and usually a pot-au-feu takes a long time to cook. It's not something you can normally do in an hour and 15 minutes, so I'm really interested to see how he pulls this one off.
I love the sound of this dish. You know, if he can really get that pot-au-feu with a lot of flavour, I think it could be a winner.
Mark is a 28-year-old head chef from Cardiff. He's demonstrated some interesting ideas, but he was criticised for being overambitious to the detriment of his flavours.
Mark has a lot to prove, I think. I don't think he's found his feet. I see potential in him. I think that's why he's here. This could be the challenge where Mark shines. I hope he shines because he really needs to.
I think my love of food come from travelling at a young age. I used to have a summer house in Spain. We used to go 1 month every summer until the age of 12 when I moved there permanently. And I think on those travels for the drive through France and when we was in Spain and just seeing food on a day-to-day basis and the smells, that got me in love with it.
Mark, tell me, what scraps caught your eye?
The beef. I was quite interested in the beef. I thought it had nice flavour, nice texture. With pickled cauliflower, we'll have a cauliflower and broccoli puree. And I got a stem of artichoke that I saw there, just to give it a bit of a crunch. So
We're going to have to share that.
yeah, that's all I had. So
What did you think when you took off the cover?
excited, interesting. You know, I've had a few like uneasy rounds, so I'd just like to deliver you something nice today and hopefully show you that I've got potential and I can cook.
Mark is using the beef that was already cooked. He's flavoured it in different oils and spices. It's just an interesting take on Asian flavours. I hope it works.
I really like the idea of the beef. It's got quite a lot of elements going on. He's using the bone marrow as well. Quite like that. I'm really intrigued with this dish.
Jamie is a 27-year-old sous chef working in St Andrews.
He's settling into the competition. He's taken on board what we're saying to him, and you were really impressed with his last dish.
Jamie's pigeon salad was amazing, beautifully executed and tasted delicious. I think Jamie has a fantastic palate. I think he really understands food. I just hope Jamie can continue improving.
I don't know why I'm a chef sometimes when I'm working 90 hours a week, but I love the reaction that people get from food. I love the companionship in the kitchen. I love the pressure. Just the perfect job.
Jamie, how's it feel to be here?
Amazing. Yeah, it's been some experience. I'm more excited about this than if I had a big array of lavish ingredients. I'm really excited about this.
What are you making for us?
Pork tortellini with a fragrant broth. I'm going to do a little crispy bone marrow just to give it a bit of texture and a bit of fat and give it a bit of body.
You cooked a great dish in the last round. Really, really good dish. I really enjoyed it. Do you think you can match that with this?
I think it'd be one of the best days of my career if I could match that. I really do. I really do.
I hope so, Jamie. I'm quite upset that Marcus has seen an amazing dish from you. I want to see an amazing dish from you.
Yeah, and I'll do my best today, Martha.
Good man. Good luck.
Thank you very much, Chef. Thank you.
Jamie has selected the rib of pork and he's trimmed off the meat in between the ribs. He's blitzed it up to make a farce to go in his tortellini. He's using the bones to make a fragrant broth.
I love the idea of the crispy pork skin. I hope there's going to be some garnish in the dish. I hope he's going to use more than just pork, pasta and a broth. But overall, I like it.
Guys, you've got 10 minutes left.
Chefs, you've got 5 minutes. 5 minutes to serve your dish.
That's it. Stop. Time's up.
From the scraps, Sven has made a pot-au-feu, traditionally a rustic French dish. He served a roasted chicken wing lollipop, bone marrow beignet with a parmesan crust, tripe, chicken liver and heart, deglazed with raspberry vinegar, with a garnish of artichoke, spring onion and fennel. All in a broth made from the chicken, beef and pork bones.
It's a lovely looking starter. You know, pot-au-feu, normally everything is in one pot, you know, and it's a great hunky portion of food. You've taken that to another level and given us a very delicate and smart looking plate. You know, you could serve this in any high-end restaurant and be happy to get something like this.
That flavour, with the time period given to you, is incredible. The chicken tasted delicious. It was nice and tender. Good meaty flavour in the consomme. The spring onions have kept their bite. The livers have still kept their flavour. They were beautifully sealed. They were not overcooked. And even now, they're not overcooked. That's a testament to your understanding of ingredients and how you use them. I think the dish is delicious. I really do. My only problem with the dish is you want more.
Sven, that is one knockout starter. It takes a lot of skill to know how to get so much flavour out of scraps like you have. I really like what you're achieving at the moment, okay? And I really hope you keep going upwards and onwards.
Overwhelmed, that was amazing. I really tried my best today, so to hear feedback like that was amazing. Just started breathing again.
Mark has removed the leftover meat from the beef rib and cooked it sous vide in soy sauce. He's also made chicken liver sausage, a puree made from broccoli and cauliflower stems, pickled cauliflower, artichoke stem, and a sauce made from the chicken bones.
I've got to say I'm really disappointed with that, Mark, as a dish. The beef doesn't taste of anything. With all of the ribs in the bowl and all of the trimmings there, I'm surprised you've made a chicken sauce when you had the opportunity to make a beef sauce. The salad has no place in the dish for me. I'm really struggling with this dish, Mark. I'm struggling to understand what it is. I don't understand the sauce. It's annoying, Mark, to be fair. You can do better than this.
And I know I can, but didn't deliver.
I was picturing a glazed piece of beef. You know, there's no other way that you could have done this, but to do something that was just going to fall apart, okay? The salad, it's like a last-ditch effort at putting something on the plate for the sake of it.
Disappointed in myself again. Didn't deliver, and that was the results.
Sean's made a suet pasta ravioli filled with pork trimmings, bone marrow and brie, a brioche crumb, pork crackling, and a pork sauce with a lemon vinaigrette.
Sean, it's not the most appealing plate of ravioli I've seen before. I'm really curious why you've got a burnt piece of crackling here. The filling is better than I thought it would be. I like the texture that's in there and a bit of brie through it. I like the crumb idea. Again, there's a bit of flavour coming through there. I do like that crumb idea you've got in there. The pasta, one of the parcels is unfortunately thicker than the other. And the sauce, I think, is a bit salty.
You've got big flavours in there, and you've created a very big sauce. For me, that's what's carrying this dish. The filling is a pleasant filling. It's nice. It's got flavour. The brie's not coming across too strong. It sort of sits in the background. I quite like the sauce. The seasoning is just on the borderline. I love the idea of putting the lemon vinaigrette on, and I love the way that you finished it with a little bit of grated lemon. This is a good dish. This is not a great dish. It's a dish that's acceptable.
I'm feeling all right. Feeling all right. Just like the other challenges, Marcus wants more on the plate, and I totally understand where he's coming from. I could have added something else, but it just didn't come to me.
Jamie has made egg fried rice, mixed through with beef, chili, and banana, served with confit chicken wings, char-grilled cauliflower stem, and a sweet and sour sauce.
This is a dish that you just walked into your fridge at home, grabbed a load of stuff, knocked it up, put it on a plate. The chicken wings are overcooked, so they've become dry. The broccoli is burnt. The cauliflower is burnt. The beef is so dry. This is scraps back on the plate to me. And it's such a shame. You're a grafter and you're a fighter, and I like that in you.
I'm gutted for you, Jamie.
Yeah.
You know, you're such a keen young chef and with a lot of potential. And I think that this test has completely thrown you. This is really not you by any means at all. And please don't ever put banana through fried rice again.
Okay. Basically, I got scraps I'm not used to cooking with, and I then used flavours that I'm not used to using, and it was just a car crash on a plate, basically.
Jamie S. has made pork tortellini with a pork and bone marrow beignet, braised broccoli stems, crispy cauliflower leaves, a pork crackling crumb, and an aromatic pork broth.
I don't know about you, but I want to eat it.
I want to make a photo in case we never see another nice plate again.
Come on. The tortellini is so good and the little broccoli stems are good. The pasta's beautifully rolled and the broth is delicious. The orange in the background is beautiful. It just comes right at the very end. It's a very nice finish. It's a fantastic dish and I'm very happy with it. I think it's delicious.
Thank you, chef.
It was a real pleasure to watch you work with the pasta today. You know, as a chef who's very confident in what he was doing. It's a great dish. Really pleased that this is what you've made out of nothing, almost, you know. It really makes my day, and I'm really glad you're in this competition.
Thank you very much.
Well done.
I feel amazing. I feel absolutely amazing. I cooked my heart out and I produced the food that Marcus and Monica were both happy with today. And it was special. It was really good.
Chefs, thank you. There's been some real highs and some lows today, and I think a few of you have found this very difficult, and I think it's shown on the plate. Monica and I have got a decision to make.
Please go take a seat, and we'll see you back here in a while. I'm really happy because we've had some good chefs really stand out today. That makes my day.
This is not easy. It's not an easy challenge, and it's really tested a couple of these chefs. Pushed them to the wire, I think.
Got to say, Sven and Scottish Jamie were the two knockout chefs today.
I love Sven's pot-au-feu. Very delicate dish. I thought he got at a fantastic depth of flavour in the consomme. Superb. Super dish. I'd be happy with that dish in any restaurant.
I didn't think I wanted it this much, but there's nothing else I'm thinking about other than this. Yeah, it's great fun, and I just want to stay here for as long as possible.
And then we have Jamie with his tortellini plates, which just looks so inviting. I love the kick of the chilli and the orange that he had in his broth.
I don't know how I did it. I just had the dish in my head. I knew exactly what I wanted to do, and it's come together really well.
These two chefs are on the way. They're already setting a benchmark, and the others need to catch up quick.
Sven and Jamie, for me, sail through.
Sean, I find frustrating because there's a chef in there that's holding back.
Sean lacks experience. I think that's why he's struggling here. But I do like the fact that when I eat his food, there are some really interesting flavours on your palate. And I quite like that in Sean.
At least they didn't leave my bench saying they were totally disappointed. So there is something to save me, to get me through the next challenge. But we'll have to wait and see.
That leaves us with Mark and Jamie. They struggled with this challenge. Jamie just reached for anything at random and came up with the most bizarre fried rice dish I'd ever seen.
It was like a hungry man in the fridge, just grabbing a load of ingredients, knocking it all together. There you go.
And we have Mark, who had a wonderful piece of meat, which I thought he was going to glaze and make it really sticky and sweet. yet ended up with a bit of salad and little bits of artichoke on the side.
He's going to be kicking himself. Monica, I don't know what to do.
This is tough because the next test is even tougher. They're going to cook for critics.
I'd feel really gutted to be going out now. I know I can do better than that. I know I'm capable of doing 100 times better.
I've definitely got more to show, but it's if they can see that or not.
Chefs, thank you. It is tough. We can only put through the best chefs. Leaving the competition is Jamie R. and Mark.
Well done, guys.
I am a bit gutted. I've done my best and the Invention test just caught me out. Overall, it's been a really good experience. I've loved it. You know, got to the quarterfinals, I'm happy with that.
MasterChef experience has been great. Being able to cook for Marcus and Monica has been a privilege on its own, so even to get this far, it's been amazing and will stay with me forever.
You know what's next? It's cooking for the critics. Good luck. You have 3 of the toughest critics waiting to try your food today. Don't let that make you nervous, don't let it faze you. I want you to enjoy your cooking. These are your dishes. 2 courses, 4 plates of each.
This is for a place in the semi-final. You've cooked some fantastic food. Now, we want you to cook your best food.
Guys, you have 1 hour and 15 minutes. Cook your hearts out.
Today's a lot of work in a short period of time, and it's going to be a big push.
Critics can make you or break you. So, yeah, I mean, it's going to be tough. Hopefully they won't destroy me too much.
I've worked too hard now to get to this stage, and just to fall at this hurdle would be heartbreaking.
These are 3 chefs who could go a long, long way in this competition. We've had some amazing dishes come out of these 3 guys, and I think the critics are going to be really impressed today.
These boys have got a huge fight in their hands. They're all hungry for it now. No one wants to give up. No one wants to go home.
To be honest, there's always the pressure, but I think the biggest pressure is the pressure that I put on myself. I want everything to come out perfect.
You all right, Sven?
Yeah, good.
Great.
A lot to do.
What are you making for us?
A roasted loin and cutlet of lamb with heritage tomatoes, courgette and basil puree, stuffed courgette flour, and then caramelised banana souffle with peanut butter ice cream. It's just flavours I really like. It's quite like childlike, but it's just delicious, I think. A bit of salt in the peanut butter ice cream as well, and a perfectly risen souffle.
And do they hold?
A couple of minutes.
Timing's everything on a souffle.
Yep.
We both know that.
Yeah. Well, I've done thousands of souffles in my life on service, but...
You have? OK.
But just slightly different today.
Who's behind you at home supporting you?
My girlfriend, she's supporting me. She's amazing. Unfortunately, she's on our holiday in the Bahamas at the moment.
Oh, really?
I was supposed to be on as well, so...
She's gone on her own to the Bahamas.
Exactly.
That's a big sacrifice.
Well, it just means a lot, and I want to show what I can do to you guys.
Right, we'll let you crack on.
Thank you.
Let them get on. Sven's cooking rack of lamb and loin of lamb. The key to lamb is always about the resting, getting a great colour, getting it cooked, but letting it rest. He's got heritage tomatoes, beautiful colours, with a stuffed courgette flour with goat's cheese. Lovely Provençal flavoured. I've also noticed he's making his lamb sauce in the pressure cooker, so he's going to be getting that maximum flavour again, just like he did on the last round.
his dessert, banana souffle, and a peanut butter ice cream. Instead of churning his ice cream in an ice cream machine, Sven is using dried ice, which is quite clever because he's up against the clock today.
Soufflés are always going to be a tough one. Today, timing is everything for Sven. Chefs, you've had 15 minutes.
This is probably one of the most important dishes I'll ever cook in my career. It's got to be up there, it's got to be perfect, it's got to be really good today, and it's got to get me through the semi-final.
You all right, Jamie?
Yep.
So, what's your dish?
Sous vide and roasted duck breast, the honey and coriander sauce, grilled onions and parsley root.
What are you doing for pudding?
A brie Savrin mousse with white peaches and an oat biscuit crumb.
This, Jamie, is for a place in the semi-final.
Yes, it is.
How are you feeling?
Excited. More excited than nervous, I'm glad to say today.
Yeah?
I thought I'd be nervous, but no, I'm very, very excited.
The last dish you cooked for us was wonderful. Overall, it was a fantastic plate of food, and we expect the same today.
Brilliant, I'll try the best.
Good man. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jamie has opted to use duck for his dishes today. He's serving it with parsley root puree, using some baby carrots to go with it. He's also made a granola and a very rich duck sauce.
I like the idea of the garnish with the apricots and the granola. I think that'll work very well. I loved what he did with the carrots last time round. I hope he does the same again because they're a winner. What concerns me about the duck is the sous vide bit. I'm not 100% sure whether that will work. Jamie's making a mousse and he's using a brie Savrin cheese. It's like a brie and he's going to be serving that with peaches. For me, the dessert is all about the balance. I hope he's tested it because if it's a dessert that just tastes of brie with a bit of sweetness, I'm not so sure about that.
I'm expecting some lovely plates from this chef. I hope, he starts moving a bit faster though, because that time will slip away before you know it.
Now they know I can cook, but they want me to give more to the plate. If they feel that I played it safe again, it's outdoor, definitely.
Sean, it's so nice to see you with some vegetables. First, tell me what you got.
Goat's butter poached Scottish lobster. And I'm making a fresh basil oil with an asparagus and fresh orange segment salad and a carpaccio of beef.
Wow.
And for dessert, I'm making a white chocolate and passion fruit mousse that's infused with some mint. And I'm gonna make some candied pecans. And I'm gonna serve dry ice with some theatre.
Wow.
Yeah.
You've got a lot going on there.
Yes, chef. I do.
I know I asked you to push yourself and come out yourself, but...
Yeah. It's the quarterfinals after all. I think I can do it.
Yeah?
I want it bad. I want it bad. Now I pushed it to the limit. That's how much I want it.
Sean is really pushing the boat out today. Poached lobster tail with a carpaccio of Wagyu beef. Done well in the right hands, surf and turf, or the concept of it with fish and meat can work. It does work, only if it's in the right hands.
His dessert, pecans, passion fruit, and white chocolate. This could work. I hope he really gives us an amazing dessert. Half an hour has gone. You have half an hour left before your main course is due.
What makes a cook stand out for me is that killer combination of good taste and imagination.
So I guess what we want to see is a showcase of someone's real natural talent. Don't give us novelty for novelty's sake. Give us something that's confident and different.
We want to see something that's decorous, but something that has wonderful texture and wonderful flavour, which sounds simple, but of course, as we know, it's very hard to get right.
Sven, you have only 8 minutes left.
This is it?
Yep. What have you got left, Sven?
Lamb's just coming out in probably 1 minute. Got to blitz my puree, finish my sauce, and dress.
Sven is cooking roasted loin and cutlet of lamb, heritage tomatoes, courgette, basil and black olive, which on the face of it actually I think is quite a nice sounding first course.
Sounds like one of those rustic Provençal dishes.
It'll be all about the technique that he brings to each of these things.
I think if you can cook the lamb well, that's the big test. We could be in for a treat.
5 minutes left, OK? Keep it together.
Keep your cool, Sven, yeah? Sven, you're now overtime. How much longer do you need?
2 minutes. I'm just going to carve my lamb.
OK.
Been so cool so far.
You good to go? Make sure you apologise when you go through.
Yes, yes, yes.
That was a tough one.
Yeah.
That's under pressure there.
Yeah,
Really
massive.
under pressure. It's the first time I've seen him flustered.
Good afternoon.
Hi.
Hi.
Thanks.
I'm very sorry about the delay.
Thank you.
Sven's main is roasted loin and cutlet of lamb, heritage tomato salad, courgette stuffed with goat's cheese, courgette puree, olive tapenade, and a lamb sauce.
We talk a lot about looks. We don't often talk about smell. This smells very nice. There's a good, fresh aroma coming off this. It's very nearly, but not quite this. The lamb is really well seasoned, but it is undercooked. The vegetables are very fresh and do taste of themselves. There's a very, very light hand here, and it almost comes together, just not quite for me.
The lamb, I think mine is perhaps a bit better cooked than yours, because I don't have a problem with it. I really like the way that you get that goat's cheese, which you stuffed the courgette flour with, suddenly kind of booming out in the middle of all these sweet, mild flavours.
This is a very good dish. I think the lamb is cooked very well. The tomatoes are good, lots of good flavour. It's all good, but it's not great. It's not superlative. You know, I can't get overexcited about this dish, which is a shame.
It's a good tasting plate of food, which is what we expect from Sven. You know, I can see errors on here.
The tomatoes taste fantastic. They pretty much speak for themselves. The lamb is a little bit on the bland side. I think that this is Sven confused a little bit for me. It is a good dish. It's a nice dish. It's certainly not Sven's best dish.
Sven, you have 15 minutes for your dessert to go.
Yep.
Caramelised banana souffle with peanut butter ice cream is a grown-up's trip to the nursery, really. Bananas and peanut butter, what's not to like?
There's two very difficult technical challenges here. Making a really good light souffle with a heavy component like caramelised banana and giving us a peanut butter ice cream turned around fairly quickly. What we don't want to see is sort of slime of melting peanut butter.
Sven, you've got 5 minutes left, OK?
Yep.
That's not what you were expecting, was it?
No.
Come on, so you gotta go now.
Ready to go?
Yeah. He was so disappointed with that ice cream. He was so upset.
That worked, didn't it?
Sorry about the wait again.
Sven's dessert is a caramelised banana souffle with a peanut butter ice cream.
That looks like a proper souffle, doesn't it? It's risen an inch proud of the ramekin. It really looks fantastic.
Obviously the ice cream is melting, it's a warm day, but what it's melting to is a thick puddle, and that to me is a good sign. It's a very good souffle. It's a very, very good souffle. One of the things I like about it, it's classic to sugar the outside of the ramekin, but that's actually given texture as it goes up. Anybody who doesn't like this souffle has no taste. William.
My verdict is the banana souffle doesn't work, ill-conceived. The peanut butter ice cream is really over-sweetened. The souffle is burnt on the top of it. I actually think this is the worst souffle I've had for a very, very long time. And anyone who thinks otherwise has a seriously deranged palate.
It is everything a proper dessert should be.
It rose beautifully, but it's burnt. It's wrong. It's a failure. It's terrible. How can you be a critic? How can you do what you do for a living? You're so wrong.
William Sitwell, you are dead to me.
I think I'm going to come down in the middle because I think the souffle has got a fantastic lightness, but possibly the flavour's a little bit overkill.
The souffle's risen really well. It looks really nice. The thing is, though, it's too sweet. The ice cream is delicious. It's just not cold enough. It's not set. It's such a shame.
I think Sven is going to be really kicking himself. You know, the pressure has caught up with him and it's really affected his performance today.
That was horrible. Just gave myself too much to do.
Jamie, you have just over 6 minutes left. What's left to do?
Crispen my duck skin and finish my vegetables.
Jamie, 6 minutes. You got 6 minutes to render 4 duck breasts down.
No, I need about 8 to 9 minutes.
So we're going to be over time?
Yes.
Jamie's main is goose nug duck breast, parsley root, hipsy cabbage and granola.
What I'd like to see is a really well-cooked piece of duck with a lovely crisp skin.
It's fair to say that Jamie's main course is bang on trend. Now, granola muesli has been turning up on main courses a bit over the past couple of years. I'm still not convinced by it. Let's see how good a cook Jamie is. Maybe he'll be the person to convince me that I want breakfast cereal with my duck.
Jamie, you've got 3 minutes left. How long are you going to be over for that?
4 minutes just now, chef.
Really?
Jamie, you are now 8 minutes over. Are we going to go now?
10 seconds.
10 seconds?
Yeah, 10 seconds.
Come on, Jamie. It's looking good.
Whoa, that was tough for him.
I'm very sorry about the wait, folks. Sorry.
No worries, thank you. Thanks.
Jamie's main is duck breast, hispy cabbage, roasted heritage carrots, a parsley root puree, grello onion, granola with apricots and an orange and coriander sauce.
I'm very worried about these carrots. They look like they've had a rough time of it.
Seems like the proportions are a bit wrong. There's a lot of duck compared to the other ingredients. It's tough.
If anybody asks what's wrong with sous vide as a method of cookery, I'd just ask them to have a look at this dish. These duck breasts are not cooked, actually.
I wouldn't mind getting the recipe for the parsley root, because he's managed to turn it into a sort of puree that has the consistency of bread sauce, but the flavour of parsley, which is quite clever. Apart from that, this thing is a complete calamity. The granola, sickly sweet cloying, is a disaster in the midst of this dish.
I think there's a basis of a good dish here. I don't know, it just doesn't all marry up.
What's happened here is time's caught Jamie up and he sacrificed the quality of the dish because of that fact. A lot going on the plate, and I think there's maybe one element, maybe 2 elements he could have taken away and focused more on the duck. It's just not executed to the way I know Jamie can do it.
The granola on there, a bit of sweetness with the duck, it goes very well, and the crunch of the texture. The puree, I think, should be a bit finer. Today, with the time expectation, it's really flustered him and it's shown in parts of his dish.
You all right?
No.
What's wrong?
This was rubbish.
Jamie, you still got a dessert to go?
Yep.
OK, don't give up now. All right?
Yeah.
Jamie has Briat Savarin mousse, which is a cheese named after a famous French chef. He's serving that with roasted peaches, oat biscuit, salted hazelnuts, all of which sound fantastic. I love peaches. I love it when they're roasted.
Yeah, the real challenge with this will be the mousse.
Does sound rather appealing, actually.
Final 2 minutes, Jamie.
Yeah.
Are we going to be okay?
Yeah, we're fine.
Off you go.
I'm not late this time, folks, so this will be better.
Thank you. Thanks.
Jamie's dessert is a Brie Savarin mousse, poached and roasted peaches, an oat biscuit crumb, salted hazelnuts, and a peach and basil consommé.
It's all a bit meagre and skimpy. You know, hazelnuts, 3 of them. Biscuits, well, it isn't biscuits, it's just a little bit of a crumb. It looks like he had a bit of granola left over from the main course. So it's just grudging. There's some nice, subtle, mellow flavours here. I like the mousse, I like the oat biscuits, but the peaches, they're sort of mush, aren't they? They've got no body. It's a real shame because they should have been the stars of the show, really.
Peaches are lush and warm and round and sweet, and these are just sort of mushy and it's like they've already been pre-chewed.
If I had no teeth and no taste buds, I'd be very happy. As it is, I have both those things, and so I'm left wanting.
I think the mousse has an amazing flavour. What's let this dish down is putting the consommé on. It's completely ruined the whole dish. I do not understand his thought process. The crumb has gone soggy. The flavours do taste good individually, but to me they just don't work together as a dish.
I love the colours that are coming from Jamie's dessert, but I think it's all sort of squashed together in this small bowl. The mousse is lovely, it's creamy, and it matches the roasted peaches really well. I would have been happier without that consommé on this dish.
Gutted. I let the pressure get to me today and the time to get to me. And I served up half of what I wanted to serve. Absolutely horrible. I didn't have the mental strength to focus on it and to keep going.
Sean, you've got 15 minutes. Are you going to be all right? Are you going to be on time?
I just need to dress the salad, clean the lobster.
Lovely.
And
this looks great.
we're ready to go.
Sean's main course, surf and turf of blue Scottish lobster tail poached in goat's butter and Hereford Cross Aberdeen Angus carpaccio, served with a zesty orange and asparagus salad and a basil oil. Here he's taken rather luxurious ingredients. We know lobster tastes nice, we know Aberdeen Angus tastes nice, so do something really good with these ingredients, don't wreck them.
There's no reason why this dish couldn't work, but it really will take a very precise cook to get it right.
You've got 4 minutes left.
Yes, chef.
You look like you're on time.
Yeah, I am.
Wow.
What's left to go on?
I'm done.
You're done? You
Yeah.
happy with it?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Go for it.
Hi.
Hello. Thank you.
Sean's main is surf and turf, lobster tails poached in goat's butter, beef carpaccio marinated in basil oil, and an orange and asparagus salad.
This is a serious bit of carpaccio and a serious bit of lobster. I think it looks quite pretty.
There's one thing that this dish is really crying out for, and that's some seasoning on the beef. To me, it has no taste at all. I think the lobster is slightly overcooked, it's slightly mushy. I don't know, I'm not really enjoying it at all.
I think it's a staggeringly confident dish to serve up at this point in the competition. I really do love the interplay of the lobster with the beef. I do think the beef has lots and lots of flavour. It's delicate, And maybe, yeah, a little sprinkle of seasoning would help. My only question actually is over the asparagus salad, whether that brings anything to it.
He's taken amazing ingredients and he's barely touched them. There's real courage, actually, I think, to produce a dish like this.
There's a fine line between courage and overconfidence, and I just don't think this quite comes off for me. It's borderline bland, I have to say.
The beef already looks bland and unseasoned. It looks unloved. It looks too thick. The lobster, for me, you know, has just been crucified.
These are very expensive ingredients. They naturally taste good. I just don't think that Sean has pushed them to their limits, and I don't think he's taken them to another level. You right, Sean?
Tough crowd.
Oh yes, very tough crowd.
Tough crowd.
Sean's dessert, white chocolate and passion fruit mousse with candied pecans.
Passion fruit mousse could be wonderful, but it's quite a delicate fruit, and I'm worried about it being overwhelmed by a kind of cloying white chocolate.
It could be lovely, but will it be a display of great cooking acumen and taste? I'm not entirely convinced.
My mousse is supposed to be smoother than this. The density is fine, it's just a bit foamy.
How's it taste?
Tastes nice.
Sean, you've got 8 minutes left.
Thank you.
For dessert, Sean has served a white chocolate and passion fruit mousse and candied pecans with a passion fruit water poured over dry ice.
I like the presentation. I mean, I know it's a game and dry ice and all of that, but, you know, bit of theatre. My only real criticism of this dish is it's less a dessert than a petit four. It's tiny, and because it's a foam, actually, there's minuscule amounts, but what's there was lovely.
I really like the way that the white chocolate mousse was just this very delicate backdrop for these explosions of flavour from the passion fruit seeds. It was lovely, but it was gone in 2 mouthfuls.
Oh, that's the smallest dessert I've ever eaten.
It's not a dessert. It's almost a sort of a pre-dessert, isn't it?
Yeah.
Before the actual dessert comes through.
For me, this was all about presentation for Sean. And there isn't a dessert.
And I think Sean got caught away with the theatre of it and maybe forgot the dessert along the way.
They was good. I'm just dying to know the comments. A long, nervous wait. I'm dreading this wait. Just want to get over and done with. If I'm in, I'm in. If I'm out, I'm out.
Today was all about pressure, and you could really feel the tension in the kitchen today.
It was tough. You know, we have Sven, who's been cooking amazingly throughout, who actually got quite worked up today and got quite stressed. His 2 dishes, good cooking, but he has shown weakness today.
So far in the competition, Sven has been very cool, very calm, and cooked with precision. Today was a different story. The time got the better of him. Today I saw a different Sven. He was not happy.
Jamie set himself a lot to do today, and I don't know if he'd practiced it enough or the time really caught up with him and he got flustered. You know, there's so many different elements on that duck dish that he was going to get caught out at some point.
Today, he was just too much going on and he just didn't know which way to turn. But he's a good cook. Sean had the best ingredients you could buy today. He just didn't quite know what to do with them.
Lobster, beef, asparagus, wow. There's parts of his dish that I liked the idea because it was different, but I don't think it was the perfect execution here today.
His dessert concept is interesting. The dish was very, very small. It was just a mouthful of foam. We do have an interesting cook in Sean, but I think the question for us is, do we have the time to mentor him? Can we take him through to the next stages? Do we take the risk of putting him through to the semi-final?
I hope I did enough. It wasn't easy, though. It wasn't easy at all. If I go home, I'll be because of today.
It won't be because of the previous rounds. It'll be solely on today's performance.
I'd love to go through now. Didn't think I cared about it as much, but obviously I do.
Chefs, thank you. Well done. We've enjoyed some really interesting dishes, a very exciting day, but I think a very tough day. We've come to a decision, and it's not been an easy decision, but the chef leaving the competition is Sean.
It was a great experience. It was one of the toughest things I've ever done in my life, definitely. It's matured me. It opened my eyes to different styles. Yeah, I'm just gonna take all the positive out of it.
Congratulations, chefs. You are our semi-finalist. Well done.
I think that's the most nervous I've ever been in my life. And to get through is just magic, absolute magic. Can't explain.
It's massive. It's such a compliment for somebody to give me that chance. I'm not going to let it pass me by. Definitely going to make the most of it.
Next time, 5 new chefs battle it out for their place in the competition.
Wow, that's messy.
I think the flavour's rubbish.
Still going back.
I think you've done yourself proud. I am amazed you pulled that dish off in 1 hour.